Hello, hello. Welcome back to the On The Go podcast, the On The Go show, as some would say. This is our Friday edition. I hope everyone's had a wonderful week so far. James, how's your voice?
I don't know. Oh, okay, no, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, it's getting there?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Hey, the weather changes. Sometimes that affects you, but
I drink like herbal tea.
Herbal tea?
Yeah, do you like tea?
I do like tea. I don't drink enough tea anymore.
I like tea. I don't like it hot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hate that.
I prefer cold tea more.
Oh, man, I'm more of a cold tea fan. But doing good, man.
Yeah. So across from me, James Jackson, my co-host. I am one of your hosts, Jacob D'Antone. I don't think we introduce ourselves enough.
We don't.
Lately. It just seems like we just get right into it.
That's why I gave you like the applause I gave you.
Yeah, I did appreciate that. At this point, if you don't know us, you get with the times.
Yeah, that's your fault.
I mean, our names are in the title, right? Like we don't.
It is.
Do we have to introduce ourselves anyway? How's your week been?
It's been good so far.
Yeah.
Good. Way better than Thanksgiving.
Well, good. I'm glad. Everything gets better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over time, everything gets better. Ready to get into some of these entertainment topics.
Yeah, you're right. This is our entertainment section of the show.
Every Friday.
Every Friday we do our pop culture stuff.
And we got some stuff.
We got some news. James, I didn't mention it on the Monday edition, but for that Black Friday, we also went and saw the Marvels.
Now, why would you want to do something stupid like that?
You know what, man? We're not gonna get super into it because we already kind of covered the Marvels.
Oh God, please don't.
But good. I just want to throw my opinion out there that it's not a bad movie.
No, it's not.
We enjoyed ourselves in the movie. Honestly, there wasn't even a lot I could really get like mad or upset about. I think maybe it's just because the expectations were already kind of lowered.
Sure.
I will say some of the dialogue felt weird. Some of the action felt kind of weird.
Bad editing.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think there were some weird things kind of going on here.
Villain choice.
Spoiler alert, but Nick Fury, I don't know why, but every now and then they seem to try to make him the comic relief.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
And
too.
I don't really get that because his character doesn't seem like it should be the comedic relief.
Like I told you the last podcast, they gave him nothing to do.
They really didn't.
They gave him Secret Invasion. They said, all right, good.
Yeah. And you're right. It is very just like, okay, is this before or after? When does this happen? Because his Skrull wife isn't there.
Nope.
I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, it just seemed like they tried to make him too comedic. And that kind of felt weird for his character. And I was telling Khadija this after we were leaving. And I said, you know what I think part of it is because there's just been so many movies at this point that the expectations are just all over the place.
It is. It is. It is. It's right now it's officially one of the Marvel's worst movies ever.
Yeah. This kind of leads me to they were interviewing the girl who plays Kamala Khan, which should really learn her name.
She was the best. She was the best thing of this movie.
A lot of people said so, and a lot of people liked her family in the movie too.
Yes, Jacob, I'm telling you.
Iman Vellani. I need to learn that name.
Did you like the ending of Ms. Marvel? I'm sorry, the Marvels.
Which ending?
the Marvels when it is a spoiler alert. I mean, I don't think anyone cares what I don't say. But that scene where, because the house is going to New Jersey.
So I was talking to Khadija about that as well. And she made the comment, she's like, they don't really specifically state that they're moving there. And some of those boxes has like Carol stuff in there. So Khadija took it as Carol's moving to the house.
Okay.
Carol goes to live in Louisiana because she's going to be there until Monica gets back. Because, they mentioned it earlier in the movie. She visited Monica's mother before she died of cancer. And she's like, oh, just watch the house until Monica gets back.
You could be right. You could be very much right.
Right. And it is very vague because, they do that one bit where Kamala's mom was like talking to the brother. And she's like, oh, this would be a good place to raise a family.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. But maybe that was also a joke as like, hey, maybe we should hook up with Carol Danvers. God. But it didn't translate as well.
It didn't translate at all.
And it does seem like they're going to live there. But also, it could be Carol's just moving into that house.
I just want to throw that part in there because I know you don't want to keep talking on this subject too long. But what you got?
Back to Iman Vellani. They were interviewing her post the movie coming out, right? And the reporters are like, oh, this movie flopped. And what do you think about that? And I think her response was a really good response. It wasn't like, oh, people just hate these movies now, or like it's the people's fault, blah, blah, blah.
Fault,
yeah. It was more or less like, not my circus, not my monkeys. The money is Bob Iger's problem. I had fun making the movie. It's a fun movie about space and adventure and all this stuff.
She already got paid.
She's like, I got my money.
The checks is cashed.
The money is it's not my job. I acted, I did what I did. I'm ready to make the next one or whatever. And I think that's a good response.
That's the best response. I love that response.
Yeah, it really impressed me because it's not the same where it's like, oh, it's the fans and they're just mad because blah blah blah. And it was more or less like, look, I did the movie. I had fun making the movie. Yeah. Like I'm not worried about it. I'm already making the next movie. I'm on the next project. You know.
My friends loved it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Perfect response.
I'm so ready for Superman.
Yep.
It's when I was younger, I know a lot of people always say Batman was their first superhero they fell in love with.
Yeah.
For me, it was always Superman.
Yeah.
It was heroic and corny at the same time. That was the first superhero I've ever laid my eyes on.
Really?
So yeah, it was Superman. So I have no problem saying I love Superman. I know a lot of people don't. They say, oh, he's just a Boy Scout. He's an alien. Right. He can defeat everybody.
Right.
But when you dig within his mythos, it's pretty freaking good.
Yeah. There's a lot of good Superman stories out there.
But that's up to you to make the good stories.
Right.
And, over time, we've had some good stories. Of course, we had the Richard Donner, which I love. Have you ever saw the Richard Donner Supermans? Oh, man, I love those movies. Except for the fourth one, of course.
Is that the fourth one? The Returns?
No, that was the fourth one. Is actually a solar. It was like a solar energy guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At that point, it's a long story. Like one day we got to do a review on that one.
Yeah, but that Superman Returns, that's part of that.
Yeah,
universe,
it was supposed
right?
to be. You know how they did Halloween? That's how they did Superman Returns. Superman Returns is supposed to be a continuation of the first Superman of Christopher Reeve.
Oh.
So I think it's supposed to be a continuation of that, and just say, hey, just forget about the third one with Richard Pryor, and forget about the fourth one.
Yeah.
Which those two were probably the worst Superman movies. Superman Returns tried to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep it in that same vein. Bryan Singer was the director at that time.
Yeah.
So tried to keep it in the same vein of the original Superman, but it was just not a good story. It was just way too emotional.
I don't think I ever saw that one either.
Oh man, it's boring. It's a bore fest.
I do remember someone, I think it was Kevin Smith, when he was doing one of his Q&As back in the day. He was talking about that scene where like Lois Lane has Superman's baby, and I guess like the baby throws like a piano or something across the room or whatever. Yeah. And he made the comment, he was like, in one of those movies, like Superman made everyone forget who he is. So he was like, I always find it weird that Lois Lane was like, why did you rape me, Superman, or something?
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. I think I heard that too.
Yeah. So
that is a good one.
That's all I remember about that movie was like Kevin Smith's comment about that.
The everything was there for it to be a good film, but it just didn't land. I saw what Bryan Singer was trying to do, but it was just way too much of a bore fest. To just have Lex Luthor battle Superman with nothing else there is just like, that's weird. So then Superman Returns. Then you had Smallville, which was a successful show. I love Smallville. Right. I still watch that show to today.
Right.
Michael Rosenbaum played a great Lex Luthor. I want to be on that guy's show one day. And Tom Welling played a great Clark Kent.
Right.
So we had Smallville, and then, of course, we had the Zack Snyder universe with Henry Cavill.
Man of Steel was really good.
I did like Man. Did you like Man of Steel?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I loved it, too.
Yeah.
It was a nice foundational piece to set up.
Right.
But they never really followed through with it with Batman.
They never got to do anything with it, right? Because you had Batman versus Superman.
Which is where they messed up at.
Yeah, and then you had the Justice League debacle.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was a debacle because Zack Snyder left because personal issues, and they low-key fired him, and then Joss Whedon finished it, and that sucked, and then Zack Snyder had his own version, and they wanted him to finish that. But now it's nothing.
As far as the Zack Snyder stuff, I want to handle that with kid gloves because, his daughter died.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wish Warner Brothers would have just said, how about we just pause on this completely?
No, yeah, it's a very serious situation.
Yeah, if I was them, I would have just paused on that completely instead of just giving it to another director. That's just my opinion, with another vision.
You're right.
But that's a story for another day.
It is.
So you did the Henry Cavill stuff, which I like Man of Steel, but the Dawn of Justice movie just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Zack Snyder got all the cast of these characters right, but he didn't get any of the stories right with them.
Yeah.
And that was a problem.
Right.
So fast forward through that, DC going through the whole debacle. Now we got James Gunn. James Gunn is doing trying to bring back Superman in the forefront because for a long time Superman was not in the forefront.
Right. It's always Batman.
It's always Batman. Right. Which I understand. Everybody loves Batman.
Yeah, but Batman stories are kind of getting tired, I feel like, because they're all, as the years have gone on, they're just more and more dark and brooding and all this stuff. Like the Batman, for example. Batman was a great movie.
It was.
With Robert Pattinson. Great movie. You know, they did the Riddler, but they did him as like a Zodiac killer and stuff. Very dark, very gritty.
Like was that movie 7?
Yeah. And it was good. The only thing for me that was kind of lacking about it was the fact that you knew it was the Riddler.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that kind of sucked for me. It was like, okay, this is a great story, but like I already know this is the Riddler. Yeah. This isn't like a big reveal for me.
Well, I mean, also too, when you're trying to ground Batman so much, you take away the fantastical side of it.
Right.
So you can't. There's only so much you can do with the fantastical side. You know, Clayface and all these other different,
Solomon Grundy,
you know, Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze.
Guy, yeah.
It's like that's only so much you can do with that. And I think the reason why people do Batman movies because people just love Batman.
Yeah.
And I think with Superman, everyone has always been scared to do Superman movies for the simple fact that it's hard to do because you got this over superpowered person,
right?
They can kill everybody,
right? So how do you make a challenging movie, or how do you make a challenging villain for this guy when he could just obliterate anybody?
He can obliterate anybody.
Yeah,
I've always been of the person that you can always do a movie. There's always something there, and James Gunn is directing the new Superman Legacy,
right?
And I cannot wait. David Cornsweet is Superman. And I've seen this guy I think I only seen him in one movie. I'm just going to be honest with you. But when I saw him in that one movie, I was just like, he was in the movie X. And
I still haven't seen that movie. I want to watch that series.
Good movie.
There's a third one coming, I think.
There is a third one coming.
I want to see that series.
And when I saw him in there a long time ago, I don't want to toot my own horn. I was like, you know what? If there ever was a recast Superman, this got to be a great Superman. Yeah. He has the voice, he has the look. And here we are. He's playing Superman. So, man, I've been so eagerly anticipating this movie. I think James Gunn, he's talked about it so many times on Twitter, getting the character of Superman right.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that stands for hope, justice, you know, and all that good stuff, you know. Was that truth, justice, and the way of peace?
Yeah.
I think that's
American Way.
American Way, yeah. I'm pretty sure I butchered it. But, yeah, I'm so happy, excited about it, but we finally got a casting. I said I know I've been talking around this whole situation, but I just wanted to give a good setup.
Yeah, no, you're good. So
they finally got the casting for Lex Luthor.
Right. This was announced like, 2 or 3 days ago, right?
They still say it's kind of alleged.
Is it?
Yeah, some website says still alleged. I don't know.
I see. But do you want to say or do you want me to say? Because I know who it is.
Okay, you say
it. Nicholas Hoult, right?
Love it.
Nicholas Hoult. Formerly the Beast.
Love it.
In the Fox X-Men films.
He was in Mad Max. He was in Redfield.
He was in Mad Max. Yeah,
he was in The Menu, which I loved him in The Menu.
He was in The Menu. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in that movie.
Oh, man. I loved him in that. You went from liking this guy to hating him to you just want this guy dead.
Yeah.
Like, his character performance in that movie was so good.
Yeah.
Seeing him play Lex Luthor, man. You know, he was supposed to be Superman at one point. He tried out for Superman. He tried out for Batman.
I think I heard about that, yeah.
And now he's playing the antagonist to Superman and probably potentially Batman. Oh, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy if you kind of stop and think about it.
So do you think he's going to be able to pull it off? Do you think?
Oh, I think he can.
Yeah?
Oh, I think he can, Jacob. This guy has a range. I think he has the range to play that character.
So here's the thing. So Lex Luthor isn't the main villain of Superman Legacy, though, right? Who's the villain?
The Engineer.
The Engineer.
That's played with the Authority. I don't know too much about the Authority. That's James Gunn's superhero group. They're in the comics. They're basically kind of like the Boys.
Okay. Are they heroes?
No, they're like anti, but a little bit on the bad side.
Okay.
Like they believe that they can do things better.
I see.
They're the opposite of Superman. Get the job done by any means
necessary.
Yeah. They, like I say, they're just like the Boys. And the Engineer is in there. It's been played by, what's this lady's name? Let me pull her name up. Her name is Angela Spica or Spica. Yeah. I've never really heard of her. And I've never really seen her in anything before. But she's playing the Engineer, who's pretty much kind of like the guy from, what's that movie? Terminator? The guy that turned
the liquid metal guy.
That's pretty much who she is.
I see.
But 10 times a little bit worse.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for it. Lex Luthor, that's a great cast. Nicholas Hoult has a great range. Hopefully, he won't be like Jesse Eisenberg, where he's just like being real silly and goofy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he can kind of be a stature of that person that we know from the animated series where he's looks very capable.
Right.
And he's also jealous of this guy who flies around and save people. And, you know, who believes that he doesn't deserve that power. He deserves it. And I love that so much. You know, I've always loved Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't because he look at me just like he's just a rich human guy.
So do you think Lex Luthor is going to be a secondary villain in this movie?
I think he's going to be a secondary. Somebody in the back pulling the strings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm just wondering, because like obviously you got to have him in there, but like if you're going to do the engineer and you're going to do the authority, like where does Lex Luthor fit in?
Well, I don't think the authority's going to be in there completely, but I think it's just her. From what some of the rumors I've also saw is Brainiac's supposed to be the villain, which I don't have a problem with Brainiac, but Brainiac's been done so many times before.
Right.
And it's like...
Not in live action, though.
Not in live action, but my problem with Brainiac is, in some of Superman's villains, you know he's going to beat these guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's no complex story with Brainiac.
Yeah.
With the authority, there's a complex story there.
Right.
Because you're like, this guy who's still trying to make his way and still trying to make his mark on the world is going up against these group of people that's like, we're the superhero group. We're the ones that know well. We're the ones that know how to control people and stop violence.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it our way. And that's what I like. Something a little bit more complex, but at the same time, still trying to keep to the roots of Superman.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, if it's Brainiac, cool. You know, I'll take it.
I don't think they're going to do Brainiac right out the gate like that.
I just don't. I don't see it either.
You set up Brainiac. You have to.
You have to.
Right? I mean, Brainiac would have to be like the Thanos of this.
If you want to do a secondary movie, and you want to do that, cool.
Well, it's funny because when Man of Steel came out, and I think they were doing like the Batman v Superman thing, and then Superman sacrifices himself. Yeah.
Which I just thought was just horrible.
I always thought like the next Man of Steel movie should have been like Brainiac.
Yeah.
But since Superman's dead, or no, I'm sorry, not Brainiac, Cyborg Superman. Or like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Like maybe Brainiac shows up and then you introduce Cyborg Superman to take place of Superman being dead, right? But you have Cyborg's dad build Cyborg Superman. I don't know. I kind of thought they would go that way with it because I thought that would be cool.
That sounds a lot better than what we got.
Yeah, we didn't even get a sequel, right?
We didn't get a sequel.
I thought that would have been like a cool way to do it because like you can still do a Superman sequel, but then Superman's dead. What happened? And then you just do Cyborg Superman and then Brainiac, and then at some point bring him back in that movie, I suppose, instead of bringing him back in Justice League like they did.
I just enjoy the fact that a director and someone that's finally over DC is having the balls enough to say, I'm going to do a Superman film.
Yeah.
We got to stop being so scared to do a Superman film. This guy is the first superhero of our brand. You know, when you think about Warner Brothers, let's face it, you think about Superman too.
Right.
You know, that logo is synonymous with everything.
Right.
And I'm just so happy that he's doing it. They also cast the cast for Jimmy Olsen.
Okay.
I don't know if you can pull his name up.
I can't pull it up.
This guy looks just like Jimmy Olsen.
Does he?
I mean, this guy, he's got Jimmy Olsen written all over his face. Like, I cannot wait to see this guy in action. As playing Jimmy Olsen, as playing Clark Kent's pal. Like, oh man, I cannot wait. And they also got the cast of Miss Taskmaster as well. A lot of people don't know who Miss Taskmaster is, but she was always kind of like a henchman for Lex Luthor, kind of like Mercy.
Oh,
Grace.
like yeah, I was gonna say like Mercy,
kind of like Mercy. Grace. I know.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah,
Skylar Gisondo.
Yep, that's the guy that's playing Jimmy Olsen.
I never knew his name, but this guy's in like a lot of stuff.
He is.
He's
going to kill it as Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, he will. I believe it.
But yeah, I can't wait for this movie, man. I'm just so amped up. 2025 can't get here quick enough.
That's not too far away, really. We're almost in 2024. You know,
Christmas is almost here.
It's coming. Yeah.
So I mean, we're almost there. Oh man, I just cannot wait for this movie. I think James Gunn is going to. It might not be the best movie in the world, but it'll be the best foundational piece we've had since in a long time.
Well, you got me excited to see it. I feel the energy.
Yeah, man. I really am excited. You know, it's cool to see something different other than just Batman
or the dark, gritty Batman, like we were saying. You know, maybe we'll get a more fantastical Batman. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, you know, he's doing Batman Brave and the Bold. Well, he's not directing.
You're right. They're setting that up.
Now, I think that'll be a little bit more on the fantastical side.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be curious to know who's going to be playing Batman because I feel like everybody in Hollywood's played Batman at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the Robert Pattinson's Batmans are different.
Yeah.
They're keeping that separate, which is good. Which is good for them to do, and I'm glad they're doing it like that instead of trying to like interconnect everything. Like they're doing their connected universes, but they're still like, hey, look, Batman, Joker, like those movies are still they're over here. everything else is over here. And I think that's the way to go, is eventually just be like, here's this movie. It's not connected to anything.
Well, what they should do is when you do these movies, have a DC studio, have like a stamp over it that says Elseworlds or something like that.
That would be, that would be good. Because, like, Elseworlds are like, I think they, like, the comics have like a black label or something like that.
Yeah, black label or something. Like, do something like that so people will know
You're right.
that this is separate from what you got already.
You're right. And then, maybe, I don't know, maybe the main storyline is like the All-Star brand or whatever. Because, whatever. Some kind of comic Easter egg tie-in.
Yeah, just as long as you don't confuse people.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are. I don't think they will. I mean, DC has been talked so much, just as much as Marvel. Mm-hmm. So you would think they would kind of know how to do this now. So, yeah. But, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for all the stuff that DC got coming down the pipeline.
That's good. I'm excited, too. Well, we got the Pedro Pascal casting.
Oh, we're back to Marvel
Mr. Fantastic. Again. Yeah, we're jumping back to Marvel.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know, because I mean, it's like, are you casting because you see him as a good Mr. Fantastic, or are you casting him because he's getting casted in everything?
Or a third option is, are you casting him because this is the best you can get? Because you don't have that much money to be thrown around now.
Right. Well, I mean, his price tag is going to be pretty high at this point.
You would think so, right?
He's Mandalorian. What else is he in? He's the Last of Us guy now. He was in that Nick Cage movie. He was in DC. He was a villain in DC.
Yeah, he was. He was Max Lord.
Yeah, he was Max Lord.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he's been in the Kingsman movies. He's been a little bit of everything.
Well, I think the thing about it is that, I don't know, has it been confirmed already?
I believe so.
Because I know they were also trying to decide his schedule because he got so much other stuff going on.
Right.
So they trying to figure out when to start shooting.
When is this from? This is from 2 weeks ago. So let me try to find
Deadline or Variety, one of those Hollywood Reporters. I know one of those probably, because I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. All I heard was he was almost pen to paper. We don't know yet.
This article from Deadline from November 15th says Pedro Pascal eyed to play Reed Richards in Marvel Studios. So maybe it hasn't been confirmed. Maybe we're jumping the gun here.
Well, I don't think we're jumping the gun. I just think that they're trying to decide when to start shooting and when he has time in the schedule to play that role.
Okay.
So I think that he really is about to play him.
Yeah.
I think it's very, what's that word? Intimate?
Yeah.
I think it's intimate.
Yeah, intimate.
Yeah, it's intimate to happen, but it's just like we don't know right now.
Yeah. Now, as of now, there's a lot of mites.
Yeah, it's a lot of mites.
Yes. Okay, so not quite confirmed.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's heading that way.
It's heading that way.
But how do you feel about it? Do you think he'll be good? Or?
I love it.
Okay.
Because he's that type of guy that can play a background character. And this is going to tie into the next story, but he's that type of person that can play a secondary character. Because Sue Storm is supposed to be in the forefront this time around.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, the story is supposed to make her the frontline person.
Okay.
This story specifically. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that for the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But
that's going to make some people mad.
Oh, of course. Good job. Good luck on your show, buddy. Good luck on your show, Jacob. Oh, they're going to talk about that big time. When that time comes, they're going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think he has the range to play that type of character.
Okay.
And he looks very capable. The women love him.
Yeah.
Women love this guy, Pedro Pascal. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully it happens. So as of right now, your Fantastic Four is, as what we think it would be, is Vanessa Kirby.
Okay.
Who, she's in Napoleon. She's been in The Crown. She was also in Hobbs and Shaw. Very good actress. I'm happy for her. This is going to skyrocket her career even more. So you got Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things.
Oh, I saw that too. Okay, so he's also casted, or is it
allegedly?
This is all alleged.
This is all alleged because the cast has not been announced.
Okay,
we were supposed to hear about this months, before the actor strike, after the actor strike, because Matt Shankman said that he was going to announce the casting after the actor strike.
I see.
But I think because of not being able to land that Reed Richards, it's delayed it even more.
Right.
And also, the guy from The Bear allegedly is supposed to be.
I heard about that. I don't think he is though, because I don't know if we mentioned it on the pod or maybe it might have been outside of the pod. But he did an interview where he did do. He went in for an audition.
I ain't talking about him. I'm not talking about him. I already know who you're talking about. Not him.
Not Jeremy Allen.
No.
There's another dude from The Bear.
No, the guy that plays the cousin. He plays his cousin, older guy.
See, I haven't watched The Bear yet. I need to watch The Bear.
Really
I need to sit down and watch The Bear. I've seen clips of it, and it looks very good. And I like Jeremy Allen White. I think he's a good actor.
What's his name? He's allegedly supposed to play the Thing. I'm going to pull his name up, too. Because none of this cast has been confirmed yet. And I wish it would be. For God's sakes, I wish it would be.
Eben Moss.
Yes, Evan Moss. I'm sorry. Evan Moss. He's allegedly supposed to play the Thing. So you got Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Evan Moss as the Thing, and you got Reed Richards played by Pedro Pascal. Allegedly.
And also, what do you think about Anya Taylor-Joy reportedly being eyed to play the Silver Surfer?
Well, this also goes back to what I was saying, a few minutes ago with Sue Storm being the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess now, is there a female Silver Surfer in the comics?
Supposedly there has been.
That's what I heard.
And I can look it up right now. But I did see someone make a comment about that. Because the report came out, and then of course everyone on Reddit was like, "Oh, MCU," and blah blah blah. But then someone was like, "Hey guys, if you read the comics, there was a female Silver Surfer."
Now, I do love Anya Taylor-Joy. She was also in The Menu with Nicholas Hoult, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved her in that.
And she was Magique in New Mutants,
and she was in Ruby. What's that? That hotel. It was like a dark, a noir horror movie. It was like a noir horror movie.
Was it Last Night in Solo?
I'm sorry. Last Night in Solo.
I never got to see that one. That was good too.
That's a good
I need
one
to
too.
see that.
And she's also in The Witch, which that was an A24 movie.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with her casting as a villain.
Mm-hmm. Well, Silver Surfer's not like a villain either.
He's not a villain. So she might not be playing there.
Right.
So, I know some people are just up in arms. I'm just like, shut up, sit down. We don't know what villain she could be potentially be playing.
Yeah.
We're just saying, you just thinking Silver Surfer.
It's just people thinking Silver Surfer. But there is a female Silver Surfer. Her name was Juno, apparently.
Oh, okay. So. Okay. I mean, but we don't know that for sure. So
right.
People just need to stop and just shut up and sit down.
You're right.
Now, I will say this, Jacob. How many movies with female casts, right? We've had Marvels, which was a big flop.
We've had the Marvels recently.
What else did we have? We had Birds of Prey that did horrible.
You had Birds of Prey. She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk. Now, what are the reasonings that you're doing this? Are you doing it because you're trying to... Because it's not going to bring more women to the seats if you make Anya Taylor-Joy Silver Surfer.
Right, because there's plenty of women comic book fans already who were already in the seats.
Exactly. So it's like you're not going to bring more extra women.
Right. I don't know. As much people who say like, oh, they're trying to be woke and all this stuff. I want to really hope like somewhere someone's just trying to mix it up. You know what I mean? Someone's just trying to like, hey, look, like we've seen Silver Surfer. Why don't we do this version of her? Why don't we get experimental?
As long as it's not forced.
You're right. As long as it's not forced.
Because I do understand that part.
Now, on the flip side of that, we haven't seen a good live-action Silver Surfer.
Well, we had Lawrence Fishburne, and I actually thought that was pretty good.
Lawrence Fishburne voiced him.
Yeah, he voiced him.
It was somebody who played him.
Yeah, I actually did like that Silver Surfer.
It was a good version of it, but like we didn't get him for long, right? See, that movie...
Well, see, you kind of talking for yourself. I mean, you probably talking for a lot of people now, because now a lot of people are like, why would you do a female Silver Surfer when we haven't even had a good male Silver Surfer?
That was kind of my opposite argument, right? It's like, okay, yeah, cool, you want to shake it up, but also we haven't had a good original version of the Silver Surfer.
See?
So it's hard because I understand wanting to like shake things up, and also like at this point, the time between that Fantastic Four and now, there's been so many more comic iterations of characters that have come out. There's so many different variations, and there's so many different universes and stories and all this stuff. It's like, how do you do any of it justice now?
I've always been more of the opinion of, let's just get this right first before we start making splashes and start doing extra stuff. And
You're right.
Let's just get the foundation stuff right. Marvel has got to get this movie right, Jake.
You're right.
And this is really not the time to be experimenting.
Well, Marvel needs to do Fantastic Four right, and they got to get the X-Men right.
Yeah.
Because people have been waiting for those two movies ever since they bought out Fox.
Exactly.
And, we were getting X-Men movies just fine before. So it's like, okay, well, if you guys are going to do X-Men, now after like how everyone's been reacting to the new phase of stuff, if you guys are going to be doing X-Men and Deadpool, what's it going to be like?
Exactly.
Before, people were hyped because this was before Endgame came out. And people were like, oh, great, it's going to be, they're going to do it perfectly. And now people are just probably thinking like, oh, well.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It's so important for them to get this right. Fantastic Four. I just don't think right now. And look, I'm all for diversity. I said that last week or on the other podcast that we had where we talked about the Variety article.
Yeah.
With all the stuff that we're going through. I'm all for diversity, Jacob, of all specters. But they have to get this right. I don't think right now is the time to experiment. Maybe on the next movie, you can pull that. Now, as far as the story being more Sue Storm central, I got no problem with that because there's a way you can still do that and not make Mr. Fantastic look like just a guy in the background.
Well, I mean, also, in a movie where it's a team of 4 people, they all share the spotlight anyway.
They do.
So you can focus on one character more than the other.
Yeah.
Ben Grimm's stories are always about him and his struggles of being a rock man.
Which is good stories, too, by the way.
Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm have like their kids together and they got their stories.
Which I heard that they're supposed to be parents in this movie.
Yeah, so we're supposed to be getting that.
But I'm just like,
I think you could do it. I think you can do it right. It's just
like I said, I don't have a problem with Sue Storm being a forefront person.
Yeah.
But the Anya Taylor-Joy Silver Surfer, I don't think that's true. First of all, and second of all, I don't think right now is the time to try to experiment.
You're right.
That's all I'm saying. That's it. I have no other qualms about anything else. But I just don't think right now, with everything that's going on with Marvel, with everything that's going on with comic book movies, and I know we talked about fatigue and doing ordinary comic book movies and trying to do something a little bit different. That's, doing something a little bit different is not going way out of the box.
Yeah.
So just they have to think about all those type of things when they do these movies. And
unfortunately,
I can't wait to see who Anya Taylor-Joy allegedly could be playing or not be playing because we don't know if she took the deal or not. We don't know yet.
Right.
So I am excited to see it, though. I'm just excited for that as I am for Superman Legacy, which both movies coincidentally come out in 2025.
They're supposed to be coming out kind of together-ish.
Yeah, kind of. Are you familiar with Eli Roth's work?
Yeah, I am.
So you remember he used to do these Grindhouse movies, right?
Yeah, he did Grindhouse. He also did the Hostel movies, or the first one at least.
Yeah. Did you like those movies?
No.
Oh, okay. So you never been a big fan of his movie making style?
I mean, I don't know about his movie making style. It's just Hostel is just torture porn. So
true, it is.
I've seen his movies. It's just I don't know if I could say Eli Roth. I have to go see him. Right?
He made these. He did like a Thanksgiving parody. And it was supposed to be like a funny little joke about people, how they do Thanksgiving. And they had that one part where the guy chopped off the turkey's head and stuff like that. It was all in the Grindhouse. So fast forward, they really did a real movie of Thanksgiving. And it takes place on Black Friday.
Of course.
And at a fake Walmart. I forgot what it's called. Right Mart?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Right Mart. And everyone's going crazy. People are acting a fool in this doggone girl in the store, Jacob. You should have seen it. People biting each other kneecaps off, running each other with baskets to get a coffee maker.
Right.
And all these people just dying. Security guard gets ran over by people. They just trample this poor man.
This is before the Thanksgiving killer shows up. Wow.
Yeah. Well, this is the origin of it.
Oh, okay.
And the movie takes place basically on that day, like I said, and all the killings. Well, not so much killings, but the origin of the Thanksgiving monster, which his name is John Carver. He's supposed to revenge of that day, so he's going after everybody that has something to do with that day.
Oh wow! So it's like a jigsaw.
Kind of. It's like specifically 4 kids.
I see.
4 teenagers.
Well, damn.
That really, really kind of stirred the pot up. So, he's going after him, and it's bloody kills left and right. I don't want to tell too much because I want people to see it because I really have fun with this movie. It's not a perfect movie.
No slasher is.
Right? It follows every script of every Scream movie, every Halloween movie. It follows all those type of. But it was still something about it I found to be very witty. I like the fact that we got a new horror, a new slasher. We've had
that's true.
Because we've had so many of the same. We had Jason, Michael Myers, Ghostface. And what else? Are those the main? Freddy Krueger, I think, the main killers.
You got Freddy. You got Chucky. You got
Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think theatrically wise,
that's all we've ever had.
It's really just Ghostface as far as slashers go. He's still having movies come out. Which there's some stuff about the next movie I saw.
I don't want to talk about it. But it's good to have another killer, another slasher.
You're right, because there's been so far in few between. They've been trying to remake or make another Friday the 13th movie, and there's been
a TV show, right?
They were going to do a TV show. They were trying to do another movie. Apparently, there's just like a lot of legal battles with it because, like, I guess whoever owns the rights, and then the filmmakers, like, they're not seeing eye to eye. Nobody wants to make one, or they do want to make one, and it's just not. It just hasn't worked out.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. Is the reason why it's good to have good new faces.
Yeah,
because you don't have to worry about all that stuff.
Right.
Patrick Dempsey is very good in here, by the way. Mr. McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
He's really, really good in here. Yeah, that's his name, Mr. McDreamy. So, he's really, really good in here, Jacob. I mean, I'm really surprised you haven't saw this movie yet, but it's right up your alley. It's right up your alley. It's something silly. There's one scene, the Thanksgiving dinner scene, was pretty much kind of like the grandioso, real crazy scene, which you're going to be like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I was the only one in there laughing. No, it was quite a lot. It was quite a few people in there laughing when they saw it. But yeah, man, I really had a good time with that movie. I give it a 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up as far as like a fun movie. I'm not saying 2 thumbs up is like, you know what? We really got to find like a rating system for these movies.
Yeah,
a rating system. Because I started to say something else. I don't want to steal somebody else's stuff.
Yeah, right. We got to work something out.
Yeah, we got to find our own rating system for this. But it's a matinee type style movie.
Okay.
If you ain't got else, if you don't have anything else to do, just go see Thanksgiving.
I have to check it out. I just need to watch more movies. I don't know. I feel like I don't watch as many movies as I used to. Even at home, like I don't really watch anything.
Well, you've been busy. I know you've been editing stuff.
Well, I'm busy, but then I do have downtime and stuff. It's just
because you play Spider-Man, you beat all that already.
Yeah. Spider-Man's already.
You ain't got no excuse why you can't watch the movie now.
I got nothing. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just haven't been watching things like I should be. But
yeah, so you really got to watch that one. What else did I watch over the weekend? Hunger Games. Man, let me tell you something. Have you? Okay, let me ask this question.
I've not seen any of the Hunger Games stuff.
Okay.
I just know the concept is really messed up.
Oh, it's jacked up. And this one pretty much goes back into that, how messed up concept
because I know, like, the movies with Jennifer Lawrence, like, I feel like, granted, I haven't seen it.
I only seen the last 2.
But I feel like they don't really portray that as well. Right? It's still just like a young adult love story type thing. But the overall concept of it is just like, this is really messed up.
Oh, this one does go back to that concept.
See, this one looked good. I've seen the trailer for this, and it looked really good. And I am interested in seeing it.
Man, when I tell you this movie is messed up. Yeah. So, it follows the movie of a young Snow.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about this movie is it doesn't do like the Star Wars episodes. Remember when episode 1 with Anakin, and you was like, this is what Anakin was like as a kid?
Yeah.
Like this yippee, this little kid that was fixing on bots and fixing on racing cars. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like with Snow, there's clearly darkness right there.
Okay.
It's lurking on his shoulder. It's like, it's literally, you can see it in him.
Yeah.
And it follows him throughout this whole journey of becoming to the man who he is now. That first Hunger Games, the Hunger Games wasn't making a lot of money. The ratings were trash.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to up the ante by putting kids in there.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, Jacob, they didn't do a screening test for these kids at all.
No.
They threw whatever they could with these kids. They threw them in this arena. No battle gear. No, the weapons, they had pipes and pitchforks.
And they were just like, go for it.
Go for it. And
this is the very first one.
This is the very first.
Okay.
And they had freaking, what else they had? They had a young lady that had Down syndrome.
Oh, man.
A young girl that had, they had one girl that had a tuberculosis.
Oh, jeez.
They had another guy who had a missing limb, a missing arm.
Jeez.
You had another guy who got bit by a bat because he was on the train.
Mm-hmm.
And he got bit by a bat on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, you had these different people with all these different illnesses battling it out. And I'm just like, this is madness, man. I'm going to tell you right now.
That's not even the whole movie, right?
That's not even the whole movie.
That's just the beginning. Oh, wow.
That's the beginning, but that's just, that's the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, man, that part with the Down syndrome girl, I was just like, no.
It's not rated R, right? It's PG-13.
It's PG-13.
Okay.
It's PG-13.
So it's not gruesome like it could be.
No, it's not. But they went there
with a theme.
They went there with a lot of stuff. I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. Jeez. I did not see that coming. What they did to her. Viola Davis is great in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. She is in it.
Yeah. What's his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is, he's always great. Yeah. Everything. He can kill anything.
Yeah.
Like he can be on a podcast and kill that.
He's gonna be the Toxic Avenger. They're doing another Toxic Avenger.
A lot of people don't know about Toxic Avenger.
It's very niche.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
very niche.
I've tried watching it and I can't.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But man, he's great in there. Rachel Zegler is also in there. Mm-hmm. She's not as good as Jennifer Lawrence is. It's two different characters, of course.
Yeah.
But she's not as good as Jennifer Lawrence. Kat is not somebody you're going to remember.
Yeah.
But I did, and the young man that played the young Snow, I don't know if he's going to be as popular as like somebody like Jacob Elordi, who just got through playing Elvis, and he's in this new movie called Saltburn. I don't think he's going to take that same rise of popularity. Mm-hmm. But I did like him, and he was very convincing in that movie. He conveyed a very good style of you can see this guy's kind of messed up inside. Is it the best movie in the world? No. It was something that caught my eye because I do like prequels and I like coming of power type movies, coming of age. Well, not coming of age, but coming into power.
Well, that's what caught my eye about this one, right? Because like I said, I didn't watch any of the original Hunger Games, didn't really care for them too much, but the trailer for this one looked really good.
And plus, you don't have to watch.
No, you don't.
Originals.
And I mean, I know sometimes when they do the prequel thing, it doesn't really work out that much. But this one looked. It just looked good.
It didn't make a lot of money. I don't know how much money it made over the weekend, but it was decent. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And you definitely should check this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I just gotta start watching more movies.
This is definitely like a matinee type movie as well.
Yeah, you know what? I have some time this week because Khadidra's going out of town for work.
Okay.
So I might try to watch some movies.
You should.
I might just try to take some afternoons and watch some movies or something like that. I don't know. I started Blue Beetle on HBO Max.
Did you like it?
I started Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't get very far into it because
it's not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie. It's just like I was also working on some other things for the podcast. So it's just like I can't watch and listen at the same time, and I ended up focusing on the podcast more. But I did start it, and I intend to finish it. I will say right off the bat, though, do not like George Lopez's character.
You don't?
No. He's just there to like say random
comedy,
just random comedic stuff, and it's just like I could do without you.
Yeah, I get that.
Honestly, I could do without the family. Maybe I got to finish the movie, so
yeah, you got to finish.
That's my impression. Like 25 minutes into it.
Look, it is the most basic film that you'll ever watch in your life.
I knew that from the trailer,
but it is like watching Ant-Man and Iron Man combined.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I did like it a lot. And the young man that played Blue Beetle was very good.
Yeah.
And I hate that this movie suffered on the back end. Like, if this movie would have came out 10 years ago, would have been a household name.
Yeah.
But it came out during the actor strike and the writer strike. It had all these things that was going up against it. There was no marketing for it.
It doesn't fit anywhere in the DC universe.
It doesn't feed anything, because
which could benefit it in some ways because it's like great, it's not connected to anything
because it didn't mention anything.
Yeah. And so I do so far appreciate like how they allude to the original Blue Beetle by Cord Industries.
Yep.
And currently, and as far as I got in the film, it seems like the villain is in charge.
Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, but I do like how it's like alluded to the original Blue Beetle owned it and now he's like missing or gone or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure in the movie we'll find out what's going on with that. But I do like that little Easter egg where it's like, okay, cool. You mentioned the original one and now here's the new one, the more mainstream one.
I can say, I'll give you this one little tidbit. The villain is trash. The guy is kind of like, what's that guy name from Jeff Bridges?
He's that Carapax guy, right?
Yeah.
In the show. Yeah. You know what I thought? He looked like Craven.
He does.
He did. He had a real Craven the Hunter look, and I was like, oh.
I'm telling you, Jacob, the villain is it's a very formulaic, basic superhero movie, man. It follows the numbers to a T.
I already know.
But I will give you this. It's worth at least a watch. If you're sitting at home,
I will finish it.
Like I say, if you was doing it when you doing a podcast, I hate that you couldn't, do two things. It's basically good for that.
Yeah.
Or if you're making dinner.
Yeah.
So
well, that's how it started. I was finishing dinner, and then I ate dinner, and then I started working on the podcast. So, like I said, I'm only about a half hour into it, so I'll finish it. And I'll give a better opinionated review on it.
I liked it. I just hate that it suffered so much, and I hope that James Gunn. I think he said he will bring him back as Blue Beetle, but probably not the movie.
Right.
So you won't have to worry about George Lopez.
Good. I mean, why is he in here?
Comedy relief.
Why did they pay him to be in this movie? Does he like Blue Beetle, or are they just like, hey, George Lopez, bag of money?
I think all he knows is like, is a Hispanic character. So it's just like, hey, let me do
you're
this
the crazy conspiracy uncle. Just say some crazy stuff. We'll film it, and then you can go home and go about your day.
Man, I hate that
they filmed his scenes in a day. I bet you.
Oh my God, we love you, George Lopez. We love you.
Hope everyone enjoyed our thoughts on the casting and our reviews, or James's reviews. I don't watch anything anymore.
You don't.
I need to. But yeah, if you want, you can email us at ontheGoPod2023@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, suggestions for things for me to watch, please.
Yes.
You can find us on Instagram at onthego with Jacob and James, all one word. And then you can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. And you can find James on Instagram at
James9794.
Yep. And, that's it. That's all we got. If you listen to our podcast, there's a Q&A section. There's a question. Give us an answer. And we'll read them on air sometimes. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
So have a great weekend, everybody. And we will talk to you Monday.
Yep. See you.